Hi, it's Jasmine Turpin here. I'm the principal of the Robina Madrabar Narang office, and I've got Sue here who is our business development manager. And what we're wanting to do is share a bit of information for our landlords to learn more about what's happening in the market. So with that in mind, what is it like putting a new advertisement up on the market right now? Are there a lot of applications? Is there a rental crisis?
We're not in a rental crisis, we're in a cost of living crisis.
Okay.
Is what we are.
So
There are plenty of homes for rent. Applications are plenty, but it's trying to find the right application that can afford the property that we're asking the rent for.
Okay, so are they getting those higher prices?
If the property is marketed right, we have had to drop the rents a little bit by looking to see what the competition is. And try and keep that on an even keel, because sometimes you look on the realestate.com and the prices are quite varied for the same sort of properties.
With the new legislation changes, there's now we can't increase the rent more than once every 12 months per property. How does that affect us?
Now, it used to be per tenancy, but now it's per property. So if you have a tenant that moves out in 6 months' time and they had a rental increase at the beginning of that tenancy and they move out in 6 months, you can't increase that rent. It has to be at the same rental.
Okay. A lot of people will get caught out with that, won't they?
We are in a transitional period because the legislation has just come out. So for some landlords, it can be a bit of a pill to swallow because they may have had an increase very prior to that law coming in, which means they're now stuck in that for another 12 months.
Yeah.
So that's a little bit unfair. We have a little bit of issues with tenants breaking lease. They may have been in a property for a number of years and the landlords are being very kind in keeping the rent low because they're such good tenants, and then all of a sudden they move and they have to rent these properties out at the lower rent again.
Yeah.
When they could have actually had a higher rent if the tenants...
So that will stop a lot of the investors looking to buy, especially if it was only recently increased and it's not.
Well, we do have to be transparent with the buyers and say this is when the last rental increase was, so they know right from the start. So it's like when we're taking over a property from another agent. For instance, if the property has been sold by our office, one of the questions I would ask that agent on taking that property over was when was the last rental increase, so we know and we can inform that buyer.
Yeah. So that's a little bit of a wrap up of what's happening in the market right now. I've got a sales version as well, but if you have any other questions in the meantime, feel free to reach out. We'll do this every month, so you can keep informed of what's happening.